She said she needed space. You gave it to her. At first, you believed like the silence would last a few days. Then days became weeks. Every morning, you checked your phone hoping to see her name. Every night, you fought the urge to send the message sitting inside your chest. You wondered whether she missed you, whether she remembered the good moments, whether she secretly checked your profile, whether another man had already taken your place. Then, just when you started accepting that the relationship might truly be over, her name appeared. Hey, I've been thinking about you. I hope you're doing okay. Suddenly, every emotion you had tried to control returned at once: relief, hope, confusion, anger, love. You wanted to believe her message proved that no contact had worked, that she finally understood your value, that your silence had made her realize she could not replace you. But before you celebrate her return, you need to understand why women sometimes come back after no contact, because not every return means the same thing. Some women return because distance created genuine clarity. Some return because nostalgia made the past feel warmer. Some return because they miss the emotional comfort you provided. Some return because their ego is disturbed by the fact that you stopped chasing. Some return because another connection disappointed them. Some return because they want to know whether they still have access to you. And some return because they have honestly reflected, taken responsibility, and want to rebuild something healthier. The message alone cannot tell you which one is true. Her behavior after the message will. Before this video ends, you will understand the deeper reasons women return after no contact, the signs that separate genuine regret from temporary loneliness, and exactly how to respond without throwing away the dignity you rebuilt during the silence. But first, hear the truth. No contact is not a magic spell. It does not force love. It does not guarantee regret. It does not make every woman come back. And it should never be used as punishment. If you disappear only to create fear, jealousy, or emotional pain, you are not practicing self respect. You are attempting to control someone through absence. Real no contact has a different purpose. It ends a one sided cycle, it removes pressure, it gives both people space to see the relationship without constant emotional noise, and it allows you to rebuild a life that no longer depends on one person's attention. Sometimes that space leads her back. Sometimes it helps both people accept that the relationship should remain over. Either outcome provides more truth than endless chasing. The first reason a woman may return is that the emotional pressure has finally disappeared. Think about what often happens before no contact begins. You sense her pulling away. You become afraid. You ask whether everything is okay. She says she needs time. You wait a few hours, then ask whether she still cares. She responds without enough warmth. You send a longer message. You explain your intentions. You remind her of the memories. You promise to change. You ask for one final conversation. The more distant she becomes, the harder you try. You believe more effort will repair the connection, but from her perspective, your effort may begin feeling like pressure. She no longer has room to understand what she feels because she is constantly responding to what you feel. Every conversation becomes about the relationship. Every delayed reply becomes a problem. Every period of silence requires an explanation. Then you finally stop. No message, no question, no emotional paragraph, no attempt to force clarity. At first, she may feel relief. That may hurt to hear. You wanted her first reaction to be loss. But if the final period became emotionally exhausting, the removal of pressure may initially feel peaceful. Do not panic because she appears fine. Do not assume relief means she never cared. It may simply mean the dynamic had become too heavy for honest reflection. Once the pressure fades, she can begin separating the stress of the ending from the entire history of the relationship. The final arguments become quieter. The defensive emotions lose intensity. She is no longer focused on creating distance from you. That is when she may begin remembering the man you were before fear changed your behavior, the man who made her laugh, the man who listened, the man who had direction, the man whose attention felt natural instead of anxious. Sometimes a woman returns because the version of you she remembers after the pressure fades is not the same version she was trying to escape during the final weeks. But if she returns, do not immediately become the anxious version again. That is the first mistake. She reaches out. You feel relief. You respond instantly with everything you have been holding inside. You tell her how much you missed her. You ask where the relationship stands. You attempt to solve the entire future in one conversation. The pressure returns before trust has had any chance to rebuild. She remembers why she needed distance. Then she pulls away again. If her return came after pressure disappeared, your calmness must remain after communication returns. The second reason women may return is that your absence breaks a familiar pattern. She may have believed you would always come back. Why? Because you always did. After every disagreement, you contacted her first. Whenever she became distant, you increased your effort. When she stopped initiating, you carried the conversation. When she said she was uncertain, you remained emotionally available. You may have announced boundaries before. I'm done chasing. I cannot keep doing this. I need to move on. But one warm message from her erased every decision. She learned that your silence was temporary. Your attention remained guaranteed. Then this time something changed. You did not return after 2 days. You did not react to her story. You did not send a casual message after midnight. You did not ask mutual friends whether she mentioned you. You did not post indirect quotes designed to reach her. The pattern ended. At first, she may simply notice the difference. He has not contacted me. Then the observation becomes curiosity. Why has he not contacted me? Then curiosity may become uncertainty. Did he finally move on? Did I push him too far? Is he giving his attention to someone else? Would he even want me back now? Uncertainty can make a person think repeatedly about something they once considered predictable, but be careful. Her curiosity does not automatically mean she wants a relationship. She may be uncomfortable because your attention is no longer guaranteed. She may miss being wanted. She may want confirmation that she still matters to you. She may want to know whether the door remains open without being willing to walk through it. This is why some women return with a small message rather than a clear statement. Hey, how have you been? I saw something that reminded me of you. Do you remember that place we went? The message creates a low risk opening. If you respond coldly, she can pretend it meant nothing. If you respond with overwhelming emotion, she learns that your attention is still available. Do not punish her, but do not reward ambiguity with complete access. If she says, hey, you can respond, hey, hope you're doing well. Then stop carrying the conversation. Let her reveal why she contacted you. Does she ask meaningful questions? Does she continue the exchange? Does she express what she has been thinking? Does she suggest meeting? Or does she receive reassurance that you are still waiting and disappear again? The difference tells you whether she was opening a real conversation or simply checking the door. The third reason a woman may return is nostalgia distant changes memory. During the final stage of a relationship, the mind often becomes focused on what is wrong. Every disagreement feels larger. Every weakness becomes more visible. The good moments are buried beneath current frustration. After enough time passes, the emotional intensity of the ending may weaken. Then ordinary memories begin returning, the way you used to make her laugh when she was stressed, the private jokes nobody else understood, the places connected to your relationship, the conversations that lasted late into the night, the way you remembered small details, the feeling of being deeply known by someone. Nostalgia does not arrive only through dramatic memories, it arrives through ordinary interruptions. She hears a song, drives past a familiar place, orders a meal you used to share, experiences a difficult day, and instinctively thinks about telling you. She may reach for her phone before remembering that you no longer speak. For a moment, the connection feels close again. Then the absence becomes visible. Nostalgia can soften anger. It can make a person question whether the ending erased something meaningful. It can create the desire to reconnect. But nostalgia can also create a distorted picture. She may remember the best moments while forgetting why the relationship failed. You may do the same. Two people can miss each other and still be wrong for each other. They can remember love while remaining unable to communicate. They can miss familiarity while still repeating unhealthy patterns. So when she returns with memories, do not confuse remembering with rebuilding. If she says, I miss how we used to be, you can say, I miss parts of it too, but going back only makes sense if we understand what would be different. That response respects the emotion without surrendering to it. The old relationship ended. The only healthy possibility is creating a different relationship with better communication, boundaries, and accountability. The fourth reason women return after no contact is comparison. This does not always mean she met another man. Sometimes she simply compares life with you to life without you. She may notice that nobody checks on the details she once considered ordinary. Nobody understands certain parts of her story. Nobody notices the small change in her voice. She may have more freedom but less emotional closeness, more quiet but less support, more attention but less understanding. What was once familiar may begin looking valuable through contrast. Consistent care can become invisible while it is available. People stop noticing what they believe will always remain. Then absence makes the contribution easier to see. She may realize that being desired is not the same as being understood. She may receive compliments but miss emotional safety. She may enjoy independence and still miss partnership. If she begins dating someone new, comparison may become even stronger. New attention feels exciting. There is no difficult history, no old arguments, no established disappointments. But eventually, every new connection meets ordinary life. Communication styles appear, habits become visible. Emotional differences create friction. She may recognize qualities in you that she once overlooked: your patience, your consistency, your humor, your willingness to listen. Or she may realize the new relationship fits her better. You must accept both possibilities. Do not spend your life hoping another man disappoints her. Your value does not depend on his failure. Do not investigate their relationship. Do not wait for arguments. Do not become the secret emotional connection when she feels unhappy. If she contacts you while she is with someone else, remain respectful and clear. I care about you, but I am not going to be involved while you are in another relationship. That boundary protects you from becoming her emotional backup. If she genuinely wants to reconsider a relationship with you, she must first become honestly available. No triangle, no competition, no hidden role. The fifth reason she may return is loneliness. This is where many men become confused. Loneliness can create sincere emotion. She may genuinely miss you. She may think about the comfort of your presence. She may remember the security of knowing someone cared. During a difficult evening, the past can feel safer than the uncertain present. She sends a message: I miss you. You read those words and assume love has won, but missing someone during loneliness is not the same as being ready to build with them. The real question is, what happens after the lonely moment passes? Does she remain communicative the next morning? Does she continue investing? Does she want an honest conversation? Does she take responsibility? Or does she disappear once the emotional discomfort has been relieved? A temporary return often becomes intense quickly. She says she misses you, she wants to hear your voice, she brings up the best memories. Then, after receiving reassurance, her energy changes, the loneliness is gone, the certainty that you still care has returned, the urgency disappears. Do not accuse her. Observe: if someone contacts you only when lonely, you may become emotional medicine rather than a chosen partner. You deserve to be wanted when life is calm, not only needed when life feels empty. If she says, I miss you, you can respond, I appreciate you telling me. What are you hoping happens now? That question is powerful because it requires intention. She may say, I don't know. Believe the complete answer. Do not hear only the part that comforts you. She may miss you and still be unable to offer clarity. You can care about her without returning to uncertainty. The sixth reason a woman may return is that she misses emotional access. There is a difference between missing you and missing what you provided. Maybe you were always available. She called when overwhelmed. You listened. She contacted you after a difficult day. You calmed her. You reassured her when insecure. You helped her solve problems. You became the person who restored emotional stability. Then no contact removed that access. She may miss your support deeply, but you must ask whether she also wants the responsibility of being your partner. A person can miss your emotional labor without wanting a mutual relationship. She may want the comfort without the commitment, the listening without the reciprocity, the security without the accountability. This is why being needed is not enough. You need to be chosen. If she returns only when something is wrong, pay attention. Does she ask about you? Does she care about your experience? Does she contact you when life is going well? Does she contribute to your emotional world? Or does every conversation exist to regulate hers? Do not become cruel. Do not refuse kindness because you are afraid of being used, but kindness needs boundaries. You can say, I care about what you're going through, but I cannot return to being emotionally close while our relationship remains unclear. That is honest. You are not punishing her. You are refusing a one sided role. The seventh reason women return is wounded pride. She may have believed you would remain available forever. Your movement forward changes that belief. Maybe she sees that you are no longer watching. Maybe she hears that you have become more focused. Maybe you begin dating again. Maybe your life looks calmer without the relationship drama. Suddenly she becomes curious. She asks whether someone else is in your life. She reacts more strongly to your posts. She contacts you after a long silence. This may feel like proof that she loves you, but jealousy is not always love. Sometimes people do not want a relationship, but they also do not want to lose their importance in someone else's life. She may feel uncomfortable imagining another woman receiving the attention that once belonged to her. She may want confirmation that she could still have you. If you immediately rush back, her wounded pride receives reassurance. Then the urgency may disappear. Do not create jealousy intentionally. Do not post another woman as a weapon. Do not exaggerate your dating life. A healthy return should not require competition. If she asks whether you are seeing someone, answer according to your reality. You can say, I've been focused on moving forward and rebuilding my life. Then observe where the conversation goes. Does she become honest about her feelings? Does she clearly express a desire to rebuild? Or does she only want information? Curiosity about your romantic life does not equal readiness for a relationship. The eighth reason she may return is that time has allowed accountability to develop. This is the return that matters most. Distance may give her enough emotional space to examine her own behavior. Maybe she recognized that she took your effort for granted. Maybe she sees that she withdrew instead of communicating. Maybe she expected you to read her mind. Maybe she used silence as punishment. Maybe she kept you uncertain because certainty required vulnerability. Maybe she blamed you for everything because accountability was uncomfortable. A genuine return often contains specificity. Not only, I miss you, she may say, I understand how my behavior affected you. I expected you to keep chasing while I remained uncertain. I did not communicate honestly. I took your consistency for granted. I handled the ending badly. Specific accountability shows that she has examined more than her loneliness, but words still require evidence. Does she respect that you may need time? Does she accept that trust cannot be restored instantly? Does she listen to your experience? Does she remain consistent after the emotional conversation? A sincere return can tolerate a slower pace. A reassurance seeking return often demands immediate access. She may become frustrated when you do not instantly return to the old dynamic. Let that reaction teach you something. If she genuinely wants to rebuild, she will understand why both people need to move carefully. The ninth reason she may return is that you truly changed, not because you posted motivational quotes, not because you created an image designed to make her regret leaving, because the separation forced you to confront the parts of yourself that weakened the relationship. Maybe you were emotionally dependent, maybe jealousy controlled you. Maybe you lost your direction. Maybe you stopped listening. Maybe you became passive and expected her to create meaning in your life. Maybe you ignored your health, work, money, and personal discipline. No contact gave you space to rebuild. You trained consistently. You worked. You restored your sleep. You stopped making emotional decisions after midnight. You learned how to communicate without begging. You became more comfortable with uncertainty. You stop measuring your value through her attention. If she sees that change, attraction may return, but real change cannot exist only for her reaction. If every workout is designed to make her regret leaving, she still controls the transformation. If every achievement is secretly a message to her, your life still revolves around the relationship. Real growth remains valuable if she never returns. That is how you know the change belongs to you. And if she comes back, do not abandon the man you became. This is where many men fail. They rebuild during the silence. Then her message arrives. They cancel plans, stop training, neglect work, become available at every hour. Start chasing again because they are terrified of losing her twice. The new man disappears inside the old relationship. Do not do that. If the relationship returns, it must enter your life. It cannot replace your life. Your discipline remains. Your standards remain, your purpose remains, your emotional control remains. The 10th reason women return is that the relationship was meaningful. Sometimes the simplest answer is true. She loved you. The connection mattered. The breakup hurt both people, but fear, timing, immaturity, poor communication, outside pressure, or unresolved personal wounds made the relationship difficult. Distance may help her understand that the connection deserves another honest conversation. Not every return is manipulation. Not every woman contacting an ex is seeking attention. Some people genuinely reflect they miss the person. They understand what went wrong. They become willing to do the work they previously avoided. Remain open to that possibility. Do not become so defensive that you punish genuine vulnerability. Self respect is not emotional cruelty. You can listen without surrendering. You can accept an apology without instantly restoring trust. You can remain warm while moving carefully. If she reaches out sincerely, do not make her beg to satisfy your ego. Do not say, now you know what you lost. Do not use her regret as revenge. You can say, I appreciate your honesty. I'm open to talking, but I want us to be clear about what would need to change. That is strength. You acknowledge the possibility without abandoning judgment. Now imagine the message finally arrives. I've been thinking about us. Your heart begins racing before responding. Slow down. Do not reply from the version of you who spent every night waiting for this moment. Respond from the version of you who learned to survive without it. You can say, I've reflected too. What made you reach out? Then listen. If she says, I miss you, ask, what do you want to do with that feeling? If she says, I think we made a mistake, ask, what do you believe would need to be different? If she says, can we meet? You can agree if she is genuinely available and you can remain emotionally controlled. Do not treat the first meeting like immediate reconciliation. Listen to each other. Discuss what ended the relationship. Take responsibility for your part. Do not accept responsibility for everything because you fear losing the chance. Repair requires two honest people, not one person apologizing for existing while the other controls every term. Watch what happens after the conversation. Does she continue initiating? Does she follow through? Does she communicate when something becomes uncomfortable? Does she respect your time? Does she contribute emotionally? Does her effort continue after she knows you still care? That final question separates panic from transformations, and people often make intense promises when they fear permanent loss. The real test comes when security returns. Does the new behavior remain after she feels safe again? Trust should grow at the speed of evidence, not at the speed of relief. Now, what if she returns while she is confused? She says, I miss you, but I'm not sure what I want. Do not choose only the words that comfort you. Hear the entire statement. She may genuinely miss you. She may also remain unable to offer a relationship. You can say, I understand, but I'm not returning to an unclear situation. Take the time you need. Then step back. Do not become her waiting room. Do not provide daily emotional attention while she decides. Confusion can have space, it cannot have unlimited access to you. What if she wants friendship? If you still want a relationship, be honest. Friendship may keep you close enough to hope and too close to heal. You can say, I respect you, but friendship would not be healthy for me right now. No anger, no threat, just truth. What if she returns after another relationship fails? Do not immediately assume you were always her second choice. People sometimes learn through experience, but do not ignore the possibility that she is returning only because familiar comfort feels safer than being alone. Move slowly. Ask what changed, watch consistency. A sincere return accepts boundaries. A temporary return wants immediate reassurance. A sincere return discusses accountability. A temporary return avoids difficult questions. A sincere return continues investing after loneliness disappears. Time will reveal the difference. Now, here is your 7 day reset. For 7 days, stop using no contact as a waiting room. Do not message her from panic. Do not check her stories. Do not ask mutual friends whether she mentions you. Do not post things designed to provoke curiosity. Do not reread old conversations after midnight. Do not investigate whether she is dating. Do not make emotional decisions while lonely, angry, or exhausted. On the first day, remove unnecessary triggers. Mute the profile you keep checking. Protect your attention quietly. On the second day, write the complete truth about the relationship. What was healthy? What was painful? What did she contribute? What did you contribute? What would need to change before reconciliation became reasonable? On the third day, return to physical discipline. Train, walk, eat, properly sleep, lead. Do not build a revenge body. Build self trust. On the fourth day, rebuild your work and money. Complete one difficult task. Set one financial target. Your future cannot remain paused while you study somebody else's silence. On the fifth day, define your standards, clear communication, mutual effort, respect, honesty, faithfulness, emotional availability. Then define what you will do when those standards are not met. A boundary describes your behavior, not what you will force another person to do. On the sixth day, reconnect with a part of your identity that existed before her, a friend, a goal, a skill, a family responsibility. Your life must become larger than the relationship you lost. On the seventh day, make one promise you will keep for the next 30 days, a training schedule, a work block, a sleep rule, a social media boundary, a financial goal. Keep it. Confidence is created when your own behavior proves that your word can be trusted. This reset is not designed to make her return, it is designed to make you ready for either outcome. If she returns, you can evaluate the opportunity calmly. If she does not, your life continues moving. That is the real purpose of no contact, not control. Clarity. Now ask yourself a difficult question. Do you want her to return because the relationship was genuinely healthy and meaningful, or because her return would reverse the feeling of rejection? Do you miss her character, or do you miss being wanted? Would you still want her if she returned with the same inconsistency? Or are you imagining a changed version of her who has not yet appeared? Sometimes a man does not want reconciliation. He wants victory. He wants to hear, I was wrong to leave you. He believes her regret will repair his confidence, but confidence given by another person can be removed by another person. Even if she returns, insecurity will return the next time her energy changes unless you build stability inside yourself. You need confidence she cannot give and cannot remove. Confidence built through discipline, purpose, standards, accountability. The ability to face reality without begging it to become different. That is freedom. And what if she never returns? Then no contact is still giving you something valuable. It has shown you that you can survive the absence. It has revealed where you became dependent. It has given you space to rebuild your identity. It has stopped the cycle of chasing someone who is not choosing you clearly. She may miss you and remain silent. She may think about you and still move on. She may care and believe that separation is healthier. Private emotion cannot create a relationship. You need communication, availability, consistency, mutual effort. Do not fall in love with what you imagine she secretly feels while ignoring what she openly chooses. That is how men lose years. If she stays gone, accept the behavior, not because the connection meant nothing. Because a meaningful past does not guarantee a shared future. Do not become bitter. Do not decide that every woman returns only when another man disappoints her. Do not punish the next person because this relationship failed. Do not become emotionally unavailable and call it strength. That is pain wearing armor. A mature man learns without poisoning his ability to love. He watches patterns earlier, communicates clearly, stops overgiving to uncertain people, maintains his identity while loving to course reciprocity. He can be patient without waiting forever, loyal without becoming easy to use, open without becoming dependent. He can forgive without forgetting the pattern, and he can walk away without revenge. That is masculine maturity. So, why do women return after no contact? Sometimes the pressure disappears and real feelings become easier to understand. Sometimes your absence breaks a pattern she assumed would never end. Sometimes nostalgia brings the meaningful parts of the relationship back into focus. Sometimes comparison reveals qualities she once overlooked. Sometimes loneliness creates the desire for familiar comfort. Sometimes she misses emotional access. Sometimes pride reacts when she realizes you are no longer waiting. Sometimes distance produces genuine accountability. Sometimes your growth changes the way she sees you. And sometimes she returns because the love was real and both people are finally ready to approach it differently. But the return is not the answer, it is only the beginning of a new question. Why is she back? Watch what she does. If she brings clarity, listen. If she brings accountability, observe consistencies. If she brings loneliness, protect your access. If she brings confusion, refuse the waiting room. If she is involved with someone else, refuse the triangle. If she never returns, continue building. Because the deepest truth is this: no contact should not be measured by whether she comes back. It should be measured by whether you finally come back to yourself And if she returns after you have rebuilt your dignity, do not abandon yourself just to recover the relationship. Let her words become actions. Let regret become accountability. Let attraction become consistency. Let the new relationship prove that it deserves the man the old relationship almost caused you to lose.